was New Hampstead and Johnson. And that one, the Phoenix roll again, 50-6 with the victory over Johnson last night. And some huge performances by the Phoenix as well. Most notable, probably that of Pauly Sealy, who was out there slinging it once again for the Phoenix of New Hampstead. 4 passing touchdowns last night, spread it out to I believe 4 different wide receivers as well for the Phoenix. And that just really shows you what kind of what kind of firepower they have to spread around like that. And of course, Jamel Coast adding a touchdown on the ground as well. The defense for New Hampstead able to score on a fumble recovery and bring it back into the end zone. I believe 3 turnovers for the New Hampstead defense over Johnson last night to hold Johnson as well to only 6 points. And I'll say this about Johnson too. I know the score, a big deficit there with the score 50-6, but you can see the talent with the Atom Smashers. You can see the potential that they have there on the field if they're able to put it all together. Move the ball pretty well last night from 20 to 20, really, from about 20 to 30, but just seemed to bog down a little bit when they got to those positions. Penalties were big for the Atom Smashers as well, and turnovers certainly didn't help either. 1 turnover inside their own 10-yard line, another turnover where they were, I believe, if not in, close to the red zone there of New Hampstead. So you knock some of those things out for Johnson, and you're going to be able to see this team improve and I think play really well as they get later into the season. They have the firepower there with Keon Edwards there at quarterback, being able to spread it around to a number of different guys, like New Hampstead in a lot of ways. Have some guys making some big plays out there for Johnson. 1 called back due to a penalty, 1 touchdown called back due to a penalty, several other plays called back due to penalty, some drops there last night as well. But I feel like all of those things, if they're able to really just get in sync, the Atom Smashers could be a team to look out for. But continuing on through the roundup here from last night, Calvary Day with a big victory over Bullock Academy, 28-14 for the Cavaliers. Savannah Country Day moves to 2-0 on the year as well. They defeat ECI 22-20 in that road matchup for the Hornets. St. Andrews with a victory over Bethesda Academy last night, 27-20. It was Beaufort defeating Effingham County 24-3. South Effingham falling to Metter 62-31. Savannah High with a big win last night over the Georgia School for Innovation and Classics 48-0. Brantley County falling to Southeast Bullock 28-0 there last night. Ware County with a victory over Eagles Landing Christian Academy. 52-28. That a game that not only a huge game for those programs. I mean, you talk about Ware County and Eagles Landing Christian, but a game that also wasn't scheduled, wasn't even on the docket until about a week ago with both those teams with some scheduling issues. But Ware County able to win that one. Thomas Castellanos has a huge game. You have Contavious Norton running the football well for Ware County also. And, of course, that defense getting the stops that they needed to against Eagles Landing Christian. Down the coast, Brunswick High gets the victory over McIntosh County Academy, 42-0. It was Pierce over Wayne, 25-0. Appling County defeats Clinch County, 33-6, and a big win there for Appling last night. And also it was Hilton Head Christian defeating Dorchester Academy, 52-21. They can score some points, man, for sure. Hilton Head Prep with a win over Colleton Prep, 6-0 there last night. And Beaufort Academy beating St. John's Christian 42-33. But a big show for you here as we're loaded with coaches here on the High School Sports Roundup. We'll talk about all these matchups, all the big ones, especially that went on Thursday and Friday. We're going to hear from Jeb Stewart later in the show. The Windsor Forest Knights head football coaches, they battle back against Islands and get the victory. And not only that, respond well, I think, to that opening loss of the season to New Hampstead as another team that if they're able to put it all together, I think they certainly have the talent there. Of course, you have Michael Caballero at the running back spot, but some good wide receivers there. A really solid one's a Bassie Scott on the outside, just fingertips away from making some huge plays in that New Hampstead game. And they're able to come back and secure victory over Islands and battle back to be able to do so. Defensively, holding Islands only to 9 points and to buckle down there late in the game as they got behind a little bit there in the first quarter, in the first half, but able to come back and win that one, hold Islands scoreless there for the rest of the matchup. So huge there by Windsor Forest. We'll chat with them and Jeb Stewart later in the show. We'll also hear from Danny Britt, head coach of the Benedictine Cadets. As we mentioned, the 42-27 loss there to Christopher Columbus out of Miami. But still, I think some lessons to be learned for sure. But at the end of the day, that's most likely, if not definitely, the best team you have in the regular season that you're going to match up against. And especially have Yale quarterback commit Fernando Mendoza had a pretty big game there for Christopher Columbus, but able to buckle down later in the game and hold them to some stops. As again, Benedictine getting down 28-7 after an untimely turnover there, where you're about to get the ball back and hopefully come back and tie the game. But sadly, not able to do that. Ends up being 28-7. But love to see the fight from that Benedictine cadet squad as well, down 28-7, able to battle it back and outscore Christopher Columbus for the rest of the matchup. A bright spot, no doubt. Holden Garner, the Auburn commit, of course, 25 of 38 for over 200 yards, 3 touchdowns on the night. And Zaquan Bryant with a touchdown as well and over 50 yards. You talk about Justin Thomas reeling in a touchdown pass as well for Benedictine. So at the end of the day, we'll hear from Coach Britt later in the show, but I think you learned some things that you can certainly apply and move forward with. And of course, it's all about getting ready for that region schedule and region matchups here later in the year. I'll tell you what, as these size up and if these teams just keep getting better and better, that New Hampstead and Benedictine matchup later in the year in region play looks bigger and bigger. But we'll talk to Coach Britt about all that later in the show. And when we come back, we'll hear from Kyle Hockman, head coach of the New Hampstead Phoenix. Of course, they're able to get that win last night on ESPNcoastal.com, 50-6 over Johnson. Offensively, able to spread the ball out a little bit and score some touchdowns, score some big touchdowns. Polly Seeley, 4 touchdown passes again. So that's 3+ touchdown passes in both of these games so far for Polly Seeley and New Hampstead. And I think what I'm most impressed with, being able to spread it out. Yeah, the tight end getting involved there. Yeah, have Bias on the outside, making some big plays, 2 touchdowns. You have the touchdown last week, and of course the touchdown this week for Bias, and some big grabs by some other guys. Jamel Coast able to get involved not only in a running game with a rushing touchdown, but with a receiving touchdown as well, with him able to catch it on the outside and on a little swing pass and break 2 or 3 tackles to get into the end zone in a big touchdown reception there for Jamel Coast. So not only able to run it between the tackles, but also make some big plays in the passing game as well. So, man, that matchup going to be fun to get to. Obviously, we got to get to that point later in the year, and there's some other big region matchups in that region that we get to look forward to. But New Hampstead able to move to 2-0 on the year, put up another 50 points there last night against Johnson, and a talented squad there with the Johnson Adams Smashers as well that I think will get better and better throughout the year. But Kyle Hockman, head coach of those New Hampstead Phoenix, going to be our guest when we come back here on the High School Sports Roundup, fueled by End Market on ESPN Radio Savannah Hilton and the ESPN app and ESPNcoastal.com. And welcome back. It's a high school sports roundup fueled by N-Market here on ESPN Radio Savannah Hilton and the ESPN app and ESPNcoastal.com. PJ Zucco back here with you after another huge weekend of high school football here around the area, and some big matchups on Thursday and Friday evening here from last night as well. Thursday night, Windsor Forest getting the victory over Islands 22-9. Last night, it was Christopher Columbus over Benedictine, 42-27. Some huge matchups as well. Calvary Day defeating Bullock Academy, 28-14. Savannah Country Day with the 22-20 victory over ECI. Savannah High with a big victory over the Georgia School of Innovation and Classics, 48-0. But our game last night on ESPNcoastal.com, fueled by N-Market, and brought to you by the Savannah and Low Country Honda dealers as well for our ESPNcoastal.com high school game day game of the week. That was Johnson and New Hampstead. The Phoenix go out to a 50-6 victory over the Adams Smashers, and Kyle Hockman, the head coach of those Phoenix, joins us here on the High School Sports Roundup. Coach Hockman, great to have you on. How you doing this morning?
Doing great. Standing here looking at the waves on the beach, so I'm enjoying myself.
Hey, absolutely. Absolutely. As you should. The team 2-0 to start off the season, and always great to start a Saturday morning like that, Coach. But yeah, big game last night against Johnson. As you guys able to win that one 50-6. And, it started out looking like it could be a shootout between the two teams. Johnson able to march down the field and convert some third, fourth and long to get in the end zone. You guys able to score on your first possession, but then the defense turns it up. The offense keeps it going, and you guys able to pull away as the game went on.
Yeah, Coach Bonner's doing a really good job at Johnson. They got really good numbers and eyes and coaching. And they got a couple really good players. Receiver is probably the best player against so far in two games. And he made some really nice plays, and he's good. He's a dang good player. So, and they're better and better as the season goes. But so they went down and did some good things first drive. They had a couple little adjustments. They did a few different things, and that's part of football. You go make some adjustments, and kids did a nice job, kind of taking those coaching and in-game adjustments. Good job. But yeah, we're excited about how we play. We got a lot still to work on, but got some things going.
Yeah, Coach, for sure. And I know a lot of people are going to start offensively and look at that 50 burger and talk about the offense being able to play very well. And we'll certainly talk about that. But defensively, like you said, Johnson has a lot of talent and is able to do some good things. But you guys able to force them into some tough situations last night. 3 turnovers on the night as well, which were huge. One taken to the house by Elijah Walker, who also had a big game. Some pass breakups, but from his defensive end position. Also some big negative plays, and of course that touchdown.
Yeah, Elijah had a good game. He's an explosive young man. Going to be good as he's learning and improving at the defensive end. And we had a couple defensive ends out, so he had to play a lot more. We can rotate a bit, but with some contact tracing and such, he did a really good job, and excited about his future and where he's going. And again, up front, defensive line really did a nice job of getting a lot of penetration and putting pressure on the quarterback. Christian Johnson, a defensive tackle, and Forrest, Khalil Forrest, the defensive tackle, Jamal Kent doing a really good job. And again, we're playing probably 25 guys on defense. We're rotating guys around and making sure we're staying fresh. It's so dang hot last night.
Yeah.
I find myself in the middle of the second quarter, and I'm just sweated all the way through, and I'm just standing there watching. I'm not even running around. But so we're just trying to play a lot of guys, and most of them don't have much experience. So it's great to see them flying around, making a lot of plays. And again, and Rodney Wade is the quarterback and doing a great job at middle linebacker. We do quite a bit of kind of checks where he, based on what we see, we're going to get into certain things, and he does a great job with that.
Absolutely. You mentioned Rodney Wade all over the field once again there last night, but yeah, certainly warm out there. No doubt about that. Out there on the press box was kind of toasty as well. So I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you on that. But yes, a big performance by the defense last night for New Hampstead. But again, coach, you look offensively for your team and just executing at a very high level right now. Had a couple drives that you didn't come away with points, but still able to spread the ball around really well. Pauly Sealy able to hit all his marks and his targets with 4 touchdowns on the night there last night and a rushing touchdown as well. And of course, Jamel Coast able to do his thing with a reception touchdown and rushing touchdown also.
Yeah, we, you look at it on this morning early, and it's never as bad as you think on a bad game, or it's never as good as you think on a good game. And there's still a lot of things we can really improve on, and we're gonna hammer some of those things this week. But up front, and then it's where it all starts in our blocking scheme, the run game and pass game. So Cameron Bain Center doing a great job and really running the show and kind of directing everybody in their schemes and our calls and such. And then and obviously they can give Paulie some time. He's pretty talented, very accurate, and really knowledgeable. Driving some ball. Everybody's playing us, really far off, so we're not getting any over the top shots much. But he does it what they give him, and and distributing the ball. And that's one of our goals, is to make sure we're the ball around and keeping defenses honest, so they can't just load up on 1 or 2 guys, and then having a real threat in the backfield to run and catch and block. He does a good job blocking too, and he's improving in that. But Jamel Coast is, I'm really excited because as a sophomore, he had a great year, and then last year nursed a hamstring the entire season, was playing at 80, 75%, and didn't have a lot of numbers and didn't have a great year with that injury. But really nice to see him, be healthy and be able to run and let it loose, and also in catching, like I said, catch and block as well. And he's playing some linebacker and getting better at that too. So, he's a weapon for sure in a lot of ways. So we're excited about what his future is.
Absolutely. And Kyle Hockman, head coach of the New Hampstead Phoenix, joining us here on the High School Sports Roundup, fueled by N-Market, and a big win last night over Johnson, 50-6. And Coach, yeah, you talk about that. Being able to spread the football around really well is Pauly Sealy and deliver it to a bunch of different guys. We saw Bias make huge grabs last week and be a huge part of the offense. This week, he waits until late, but certainly still able to get a few catches and a big touchdown there late for the Phoenix. But talk about also, how impressed are you with your receiving core as a whole, from the tight end position to the slot to the guys on the outside? Those guys have been able to get open this year and give Sealy targets to throw to, no matter what it be, down the field, short, making things work for Sealy either way. But I know Sealy, a very impressive quarterback, but it seems like these receivers and your tight ends there are doing a really solid job getting into space and doing what they can with the football after they catch the ball as well.
It takes its whole field to execute. Obviously, we talked about the offensive line, but you have to be on time and be where they're supposed to be, and then be able to run good man routes when they're in man coverage. And Caden's been a tight end, big rangy target, doing a great job. And they kind of got on his face on the line of scrimmage and tried to slow him down with the linebacker, and then had a safety right there too. So they put a lot of double. They kind of tried to emphasize Caden. They'd take him away, and they also had again a linebacker on Toriano, and then a safety right behind him. So they kind of were doubling. You could not always man coverage, but they were doubling those two a lot early. So then other guys stepping up. Obviously, we get Coast field with that, and then got a couple young guys. Elijah Lace really got a potential to be really, really good. Still learning. Game, big, tall receiver, and Jalen Hampton is a sophomore. He's got a lot of ball skills, and again, it's still learning. And then right now, our I would say, as far as the slot goes, Toriano, but then we also have a kid, Ivory Nelson, who's a senior and probably one of our best players, who's out right now with a knee that he should be back in a week or two, hopefully. And then another new guy that's really learning is my phone is some cricks in it there. Zion Griffin, really physical, that catches and runs hard with the ball, and again, so, but none of them had a lot of experience coming in. But we just continue to work hard and make sure we're getting our spacing right and our different things that we're doing. And again, when you have a really smart quarterback who can make reads and take what the defense gives them, then everybody knows, hey, I might get this ball this play. I got to run a great route, and I got to be in the right spot because I might get it. And they know that they never know exactly who's going to get it, so they've kind of bought into that concept that I got to do it. It's not just that we're just going to throw the ball to one kid and all the time. So it's definitely an exciting time for them, and I'm really proud of them so far.
Yeah, and they've been able to do exactly that, and a really solid showing from New Hampstead last night and through the first two games of the season. Now off to a 2-0 start with wins over Windsor Forest and Johnson. There last night are the New Hampstead Phoenix. So Kyle Hockman, head coach of the Phoenix, our guest here on the High School Sports Roundup, fueled by End Market. Coach, great to talk to you once again. Best of luck as you move forward, and congrats on the win last night.
You bet. Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
I appreciate you, Coach Kyle Hockman, head coach of the New Hampstead Phoenix. Certainly, I'll be talking to him again soon. And the Phoenix off to a 2-0 start, with the win there last night. Again, 50-6 over Johnson. Defensively, huge all night. Some big turnovers. Scoring on defense is what you always like, and they are able to do that. Some special teams being able to knock in some 2-point conversions as well with that swinging gate formation they've been able to use there after touchdowns, and have used that in both games quite a bit. So looking forward to seeing how that affects games later in the year as well for the Phoenix, but able to spread the football around really well offensively. And the Phoenix off to a big start to the season, 2-0 here in 2021. But we'll come back. Danny Britt and the Benedictine Cadets started their season last night, fell to Christopher Columbus 42-27, but put up a fight all the way to the end. We'll come back, talk with Coach Britt here on the High School Sports Roundup, fueled by End Market on ESPN Radio, Savannah Hilton at the ESPN app, and ESPNCoastal.com. And welcome back. It's High School Sports Roundup here on ESPN Radio Savannah Hilton Head, the ESPN app, and ESPNCoastal.com. It's all fueled by End Market. PJ Zucco here with you, and some huge games there last night in the Savannah Hilton Head area. Thursday as well, as Windsor Forest getting the 20-9 victory over Islands. It was New Hampstead over Johnson 50-6. Calvary Day defeating Bullock Academy 50-28. 28-14. Savannah Country Day defeating ECI 22-0. Savannah High with a big win as well. But last night also in Memorial Stadium, I heard it here on ESPN Radio Savannah Hilton Head, the ESPN app, ESPNCoastal.com with Kevin Thomas and Christian Gokel with the coverage there for Benedictine football. The Cadets do fall, though, to Christopher Columbus out of Miami 42-27 there last night to start off the 2021 season. Joining us now to chat with us about his team and that matchup, Danny Britt, the head coach of the Benedictine Cadets. Coach, great to have you on. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing pretty well, PJ. Thank you for having me.
Coach, appreciate you coming on. And yeah, a big matchup, Coach, there last night. Obviously huge to have Christopher Columbus out of Miami in Savannah and in Memorial Stadium to take on Benedictine. Already looking forward to next year's matchup as well. But Coach, as for last night, you fall there 42-27, but battling throughout the whole game. Really, I don't think the score indicative of how back and forth the matchup was either. But you never want to lose. But sadly, you come out on 0-1, to start 2021. But still fought all throughout the whole matchup and really back and forth as the night went on.
Yeah, definitely. I think, first of all, we achieved what we wanted to by hosting Christopher Columbus and just having a schedule with them as far as taking our program to another level. And they are that type of program. They have been playing national games for years now. They are, the largest private school in Florida with 1,880 boys in it, and just had a tremendous football team. We knew that was going to be, a major challenge for us. And then we will get better from it because when you play that caliber of a team, you are exposed, and it exposed some of our things that we have to work on. But we'll go to work on them immediately and get better from the game.
Yeah, and Coach, I know that the defense put in some tough positions, especially that one kind of a big swing there with a muffed punt recovered by Christopher Columbus, and they're able to take the next possession in the score and kind of flop the game a little bit in their favor. But Coach, when you look at defensively, what Christopher Columbus was able to do against your defense, and still your defense able to make some plays there too. Well, what was your evaluation of that side of the ball, being able to slow them down there last night?
Yeah, I thought we played hard, and that's important. But the quarterback was very savvy, and we knew that from film. And he was difficult to get on the ground, but we've got to be able to get him on the ground and get the quarterback on the ground when we get pressure. We were able to get pressure. We just couldn't get him on the ground till later, later in the half, and finally did, and it changed things going into the second half. Really did. Because he was able to move out of the pocket and they were able to hit passes, because it's just hard to stay in coverage for 5 and 6 seconds. So, those are things we'll work on. They ran the zone on us a good bit. There were times when we played it well and times when we didn't. I think sometimes our inside backers were getting caught up into the line. And, we had to try to back them up a little bit and navigate their way through it. But, I thought we did play well at times, but obviously we can't hurt ourselves like we did. It was 14-7. We got a big stop. It made them punt to us, and we fumbled a punt right to them. And then, of course, they scored immediately from, I think it was the 18-yard line. And then immediately the next series, we fumble again, on the second play from scrimmage and just give them the ball right there again. And it just kind of got away from us there. But I do think we came back and fought well in the second half.
Absolutely. Danny Britt, head coach of the Benedictine Cadets, our guest here on High School Sports Roundup, fueled by End Market. Fall to Christopher Columbus there last night, 42-27, but open up the 2021 season with a big game there last night. And coach, offensively, obviously kind of all starts there with Holden Garner, and had a solid night all in all. 25-38, over 200 yards through the air, 3 touchdown passes. Did have the pick, but that one kind of bouncing off a BC player's hands. How would you evaluate how Garner played and led this team against a very solid defense, obviously, there in Christopher Columbus?
Yeah, I felt like with Columbus, their best thing was their defense. They were very, very athletic and defense, and one of the best we'll certainly see all year. So, I thought Holden did well. The one pick was off the hands of our receiver, and just got tipped in the air. Sometimes he put some heat on it, on those short passes, and we got to work on from both ends on that a little bit. But I thought he did a good job. He kept fighting. He kept putting the ball where it needed to be, and I think the biggest thing is we got to get in a little better shape, because we've got Zaquan, Bryan, Justin Thomas, and Hunter Dunn pretty much playing every snap, and when we lost them, when they had to come out, it changes things a little bit. So, I thought Holden did a good job all in all.
Yeah, coach, for sure. And you talk about everyone else kind of around those guys as well, playing some big snaps for sure. I know losing Edwards there in the scrimmage and not able to play last night was big for this team. How would you evaluate where the line and the running game is coming out of Columbus and moving forward?
Yeah, I thought the line played pretty well. And again, as I watch film, we'll evaluate that. We've got to block a little bit better from our running back positions. Certainly, like I said, when the ones come out, the twos, have to be able to block a little bit more, be a little more productive in that area. And we're just going to have to find a few more guys to be able to, go out and get legitimate varsity time to rest some of these guys. Because, with Zaquan, Justin, and Hunter all playing, full-time defense and full-time offense, it's just, you got to give them breaks here and there.
Yeah, coach, for sure. You talk about moving forward, you talk about the conditioning of those guys, talk about being able to block well from the running back position when you go out and have those run plays. I'm obviously looking forward to a stacked schedule here for Benedictine and playing some tough teams, and with the reschedule of Burt County certainly compresses a little bit even more. But coach, if you could take away, you said you had some takeaways, have some things to improve on moving forward. If you could choose, one or two that absolutely, need to get addressed really quickly, what would those be for the cadets?
Well, first, we can't turn the ball over. It just can't do it, and certainly not in the situations that we did. So that's one. Two, we got to get in better shape. I was a little disappointed in where we were at as far as conditioning, and that's totally on me. That's sometimes it's just hard to know where you're at with all that. But so we got to do, work on, ball handling and make sure we're taking care of the football. And then two, of course, we've got to get in better shape. And part of that's playing in the shape, I understand, but we've got to get there quick.
Hear you, coach. Like you said, some of that's being able to get that in-game experience and get those in-game reps. But as you mentioned, doesn't hurt for a little bit more conditioning throughout the week as well. We'll see how that works and improves as the cadet season moves on. And again, so looking forward to some big games for Benedictine as the year moves on as well. But Danny Britt, head coach of the Benedictine Cadets, our guest here on the High School Sports Roundup, fueled by End Market. Coach, great to talk to you this morning and get 2021 kicked off for Benedictine. And I will certainly be looking forward to talking to you again soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate you giving me a call.
Absolutely. Coach Danny Britt, head coach of the Benedictine Cadets, our guest here on the High School Sports Roundup. So fall to Columbus there last night, 42-27. But as Coach Britt mentioned, played hard all night. Some big bright spots for the Cadets moving out of that game. But, of course, some things to improve on as well. And definitely able to have those things be prevalent in the game, and look forward to, all right, we got this and this and this. Let's move forward and execute and correct those things and get better throughout the season. So we'll see how Danny Britt and the Cadets are able to do that. But we'll come back. Windsor Forest, a big difference from week 1 to week 2. Fall to New Hampstead, but get the victory over Islands on Thursday night, 20-9. We'll come back, talk to Jeb Stewart about that win when we come back here on the High School Sports Roundup, fueled by End Market.
To instantly win prizes like drinks, snacks, or even fuel discounts.
Welcome back. It's High School Sports Roundup here on ESPN Radio, Coastal Georgia, Savannah, and Hilton Head, the ESPN app, and ESPNCoastal.com. It's all fueled by End Market on ESPN Radio Savannah and Hilton Head. But joining us now, the head coach of the Windsor Forest Knights, Jeb Stewart, here with us on the High School Sports Roundup. They get a 20-9 victory over Islands there on Thursday night. And Coach Stewart, great to have you on. How you doing this morning?
Doing great, man. Just enjoying a beautiful morning at the beach right now. Trying to get ready for next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And hope having a great time there this Saturday morning as well. Certainly a good way to spend it. But, Coach, even better, I'm sure, after a victory there on Thursday and a big turnaround from week 1 to week 2. And not only that, big turnaround in the game. Start off there with the deficit, but able to secure things and hold the Island Sharks to only 9 points and really come back and get the win there with 20 unanswered.
Yeah, all through the game, kids did a great job of not panicking. When we got down 9-0, defensively we stuck to our game plan. To take Langston away and make them beat us with someone else, and the kids stayed true to it. Offensively we started getting going. There in the second quarter, and from that point on, we're just able to kind of control the game.
Yeah, Coach, absolutely. And again, how impressed were you with your defense being a lockdown? Them after, getting down 9-0. But like you said, have some talented individuals on that side of the ball, Langston Lewis. And you want to key on one guy, make sure to slow him down and not have him beat you. But then you have 10 other guys out there too. But your guys, your defense able to lock them down and be impressive no matter who had the ball in their hands.
Right. Yeah. We weren't going to let them beat us with him. That's the all week we talked about game plan wise. Make someone else on their team beat us, but we're not going to allow him, to do his thing. And I can't say enough about some of those guys over there played lights out. Trayvon Savage Sr. Came up with some big plays, interception. Bossy. Sky had one late in the game that kind of when they were driving. And then, a couple of sophomores stepped up really big, Jordan Scott and Zach Patterson. You tell each game they're getting better and better just from having that experience.
Yeah, for sure. Talking to Jeb Stewart, head coach of the Windsor Forest Knights here on the High School Sports Roundup. Defeat Islands there on Thursday, 20-9. And Coach, offensively started clicking as well. As you said, the running game starting to work well. Had some big pass plays through the air also, which you could tell in that first game, just a little bit out of sync and some passes just barely out of reach. But really were able to connect well and hit on all strides as the game went on Thursday.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the issues we had the first week, New Hampstead's a great team. I think they're going to do a lot of good things this year, but the 2 weeks going up into that game, I think we were on the field maybe 2 or 3 days just because of weather. This past week, we had a full week, out on the field, and we're able to, kind of fine-tune some of those things that we were having issues with against New Hampstead.
Yeah, Coach, and I know turnovers, penalties kind of big in that first matchup as well. How pleased are you with your team being able to get away from that a little bit on Thursday? And obviously that's something that you work towards clearing up as the season goes on, obviously throughout the regular season.
Yeah, it's something you focus on, try to be play as error-free as you can. We did throw a couple of interceptions Thursday night. One or two of them really didn't hurt us. They were on long third downs, and kind of be honest with you, they were long ones. They were almost better than a punt. Anytime we knew Langston was in open field, we were going to have issues with him. So, when he caught him, fortunately, the one was a long one. We was able to tackle him right there. We got to get rid of some of those turnovers.
Here you coach Jeb Stewart, head coach of the Windsor Forest Knights, our guest here on the High School Sports Roundup. Get the 20-9 victory over Islands on Thursday to move to 1-1 on the season, and looking forward to some more big games from the Knights here as the season goes on. Coach Stewart, great to hear from you on the show. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the beach for sure, but we'll definitely be talking again soon.
All right, man. Appreciate you, and go Knights.
I appreciate it, Coach Jeb Stewart, head coach of the Windsor Forest Knights, our guest here on the High School Sports Roundup. So yeah, 1-1 on the season for the Knights, and able to respond well. And like you said, not have Langston Lewis beat them there on Thursday night. Lewis able to make some big plays, and that a talented player there for the Island Sharks. And he's going to get his throughout the year, no doubt. But we'll see the Sharks improve. I mean, that's a great thing is all these non-region matchups. The Sharks will get better and better as the season goes on as well, and develop some more of those guys. I know defensively, even impressive there on Thursday with some picks against Windsor Forest and able to make some big plays. But the Knights get the win 22-9. Want to thank Jeb Stewart, head coach of the Knights, for joining us here on the show. Danny Britt, head coach of the Benedictine Cadets. And of course, Kyle Hockman, head coach of the New Hampstead Phoenix, for joining us here on the High School Sports Roundup as well. Be sure to tune in next week and every Saturday from 10 to 11 here on ESPN Radio Savannah, Hilton Head, the ESPN app, and ESPNCoastal.com, all fueled by Enmarket. Christian Gokel will be back with us here next week on the show. Hope you have a great one. Stay safe. God bless.